What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of No Skips, and I'm your host, Lamont Floyd. And if you don't know what No Skips is a show that I created because I wanted to highlight albums that I felt had no skips, meaning you can listen to it from beginning to end. If you know of any albums that you think that is a no skip album, don't have no skips on it, do me a favor. Let me know in the comments. And if you have any recommendations, I would like to hear those too. So again, put them in the comments. Now, I'm always asking you to subscribe. So if you haven't done so, I'm asking you to do so now. Please subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers I get, the more dope content I can continue to make for you. So I want to talk about an album today that I consider a masterpiece that no one else is talking about. Okay. And the reason I believe no one is talking about because it wasn't distributed by a major label. And the album I'm talking about is none other than Mr. Tyrese Gibson's Beautiful Pain. I don't know if you even have heard this album or not, but this album is phenomenal. One of the latest and what I feel is a masterpiece. It's the masterpiece that no one else is talking about. And because he put it out himself on Voltron Records, right? But the album is phenomenal. I remember when I first got wind of this album, I saw him on, I believe it was Facebook or Instagram. It was probably Instagram. And I heard he was letting out a little bit of the snippets. And I was like, man, that sounded great. Yeah, live instrumentation. And I was like, wow, I can't wait to hear that because he was doing something that really wasn't as popular as it is today. And he was drawing from those 70s albums, that 70s music. It had that feel in it. And so today I want to talk about this album and I want to talk about where is Tyrese mentally and emotionally before and during the recording process of this album. I also want to talk about the sound of this album. I want to talk about the collaborations, who he worked with on this album, who's featured on the album. I want to talk about some of my favorite moments on this album. And last but not least, I want us all to discover the beauty from Mr. Tyrese Gibson's pain. Now, Tyrese has said this in an interview, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. This album was made to be on vinyl. This is the deluxe edition, and actually autographed deluxe edition that I purchased off his website. Beautiful album, and there's a scene here from his video, Wildflower, that I want to talk about as well. But Mr. Tyrese Gibson has blessed us with another masterpiece. And this is a double album. And it's funny because the albums just say side A, B, and C or whatever. But I put my own labels on it because I feel this album has a certain journey to it, right? And I want to talk about that. I believe the first side of the first record, because it's a double album, the first side is the pain side, where he talks about divorce and death. I think the second, you flip that record over, the second side, I believe it's the healing side, where he talks about new love and healing from the pain. Then you put on the second album, right? And I believe that third side, we're looking at the growth side. He's embracing a new relationship and coming to terms with who he is as a man. And then the last side, you flip it over, that fourth side on that double album, I believe is the reconciliation side. And he's reconciling his failed marriage with the beauty of a new relationship and the things he's learned from that failed marriage. Where is Tyrese mentally and emotionally to begin with in this album? Well, let's look at it. He got married. He went through COVID with his wife. And, many of us who are married, that period of lockdown, it either made your marriage stronger or it broke your marriage. You really got to see what each other were made of. A lot of us was working from home or kids were at home from school, things of that nature. So you really had to spend more time with each other. And I don't know what happened in their marriage in that time, but let Tyrese tell it. And I know there's two sides to every story, but he said he got to know his wife better and she got to know him better. And COVID was over. He had to go back to work. And I guess that time away, his wife wasn't accustomed to movie mode or what have you. And, because she was only accustomed to the time they had in COVID, all the time together. And I guess that was too much. And I believe other people were cackling in her ear. And Tyrese said he came home to find an empty house. And so this is all post COVID now, where he's back to work. And then to make matters worse, his mother died from COVID-19 and complications from pneumonia. And so not only is he dealing with a divorce, right? And keep in mind he has a child with this woman, and how his child now lives in a separate home. He's dealing with her asking for a lot of money every month, and he's starting to question, did she really love me for me, or was I just a paycheck for her? And then he's dealing with the pain and the loss of his mother, who he also had a tumultuous relationship with her. You know, he talks openly about her bouts of alcoholism and things of that nature. And you hear him on some of the songs, especially the song that he made for his mother, which I want to talk about a little later. He said, "Mother, I hope you're proud of me. Hope I made you proud." You know, and if you watch, it's a short film that he did called Wildflower. That's the name of the song. And he shows his mother dying. It has a black exploitation type feel to it. Very beautiful, touching movie for short film. Uh, his mother died on Valentine's Day. So I want you to think the mentality of this man who we've seen over the years have mental breakdowns online, crying on Instagram and things like that, you know, because of him coming off of the medicines or being on the medicines, not for sure which one it was, or the changing of the medicines was affecting him. You know, Tyrese didn't always grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's from Watts, California. And so understand there's a certain element to living in these environments. And then coming from a broken home, Tyrese is dealing with a lot of loss here. He's also lost two sisters. He lost his mother, lost his wife, and his daughter is out of the house. There's a lot for this young man to deal with. In this project, you'll see Tyrese channeling his pain and heartbreak into art, right? And you'll see him trying to find his way back to a place of peace, both emotionally and mentally. Originally, there was 20 songs recorded for this album, but only 17 happened to make the album. What I love about this album, it's all made with live instrumentation. There's no auto-tune, there's no beat machines, there's actual musicians that still make good music. And he has some of the best on here, from the strings, the organ, the drums, the guitars. I mean, he's worked with some of the greatest artists on this album. The sounds of the album are nocturnal, right? It's a perfect album for late night. I want you to think of this: amber lights, candles, incense, you know, a drink of choice, a smoke of choice, and this album. You put this album on and it takes you back. It has this late night feel, this 70s groove. And if you know anything about 70s music, there's something nocturnal about it. When you're thinking Norman Connors or the Isley Brothers or Rolls Royce, there's something late night nocturnal about the sounds of those songs, right? So some of the people he's worked with on this album, he has Lenny Kravitz, Tamar Braxton, Kenny G, Leandria Johnson, October London, Eric Dawkins, and El DeBarge. This album starts off talking about divorce. The first song, Love Transaction, is kind of reminiscent of Marvin Gaye's Here My Dear. And that's another episode of Digging in the Crates that I'm working on right now. Marvin Gaye's Here My Dear. So stay tuned and be on the lookout for that. But if you don't know the story of Here My Dear, it's pretty good story. Marvin Gaye pretty much was broke in the 70s, and he didn't have that much money. He really didn't have anything to give Anna Gordy, Berry Gordy's sister. That's who he was married to. He had no money to give her. And so the judge said, okay, well, you're a singer, give her the proceeds from your next album. So he went into the studio to make an album to give to her. And the crazy part about it is he put a lot of their personal business on the album. That's how petty Marvin Gaye is. But I won't talk more about that. I'll talk more about that on that episode of Digging in the Crates, but that's just a preview. But anyways, back to this regularly scheduled program. It starts off with Love Transaction and kind of asking her, you know, I don't did you ever really love me? Was this just a transaction for you? It's a good song. The sounds of the music is what got me. It has that late night feel to it, you know. And after Love Transaction, it moves off into Wildflower. And that's the song where he's talking to his mother and he's saying things like, I hope you're proud of me and things like that. And it's actually a remake of another song that another group made in the 70s. I think that was New Birth who made Wildflower, to be exact. I know the OJs also made a version of it as well. But anyways, it starts off with the divorce song, goes into Wildflower. Uh, he next song has Lenny Kravitz on it. I don't think you ever really loved me. Just the way it sounds and Lenny on the guitar, man. And then the girl, Leandria Johnson, him and her, they go at it on the song, and it's just beautiful. You can hear the pain in Tyrese's voice when singing this song, like he's howling almost, man. And it's just, you listen, I mean, you can feel the pain in this man's voice when he's singing this song. I don't want to go through every song, but I just want to touch a few of the songs that I love, right? And that really some high points to me on this album. Like I said, it's a no skipper. You can listen to it from beginning to end. You know, trust me on this one. If you don't, if you think I'm lying, then hit me up in the comments and tell me I'm lying. Tell me what song you skipping and explain to me why. I don't really think you can. Trust me, this album is so dope. It is good from beginning to end. But anyways, let's get back into it. Another song that I really enjoyed was Rescue. Now, Rescue has a nice vibe. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, any of that, it was one of my jam of the days the other day. Rescue. He talks about being about to drift out to sea, and this new woman that he's with, which I believe her name is Zelly, she rescued him, you know, and she brought him in to shore, and she took, or he says, I was on the front lines, and she rescued him from the front lines. Like, the pain was so much so that he never thought he would love again. And she made a believer out of him. She rescued him. And it's just a beautiful song, very beautifully written, and it's just a nice vibe, man. Just think of a sunset, and that's what it feels like, but it's beautiful. The next song after that is called Willing, where he talks about healing and how he's starting to feel okay with being in another relationship. He says he's healing because of his new relationship. It's a trip because I know there was some friction between him and her when recording this project. I mean, think about it. I wouldn't want to keep hearing my wife or my woman sing about her past relationship with her man, but like, get over it. You with a new man now, right? Or I'm pretty sure she was like, get over it. You're with me now. But I love how he was able to, as an artist, draw from that pain and then incorporate his new love and how that new love is helping him heal from the past relationship. Sometimes, you know, we all been in some of those relationships, and I've been through divorce. You've been through some of you guys have been through divorces as well, and it's very painful. It's a death. It's you're mourning a relationship, you know, and even when you're mourning, a lot of times you probably already moved on and you're in a relationship with someone else. And it is the love of that other person that kind of helped you heal from that loss of that relationship, you know? So I can feel it. And that's what he's kind of explaining in this album, which I think is dope. He takes you on this emotional roller coaster, man, you know? So, anyways, then there's a song with October London. Now, October London dropped a couple of projects in the last couple of years that were phenomenal. The rebirth of Marvin, and which he has these songs reminiscent of Marvin, or maybe a couple of them are from Marvin, but just beautiful, beautiful work. And then he did October Nights, and he shares this song, Bedroom Bully, on that album. And it's also on Tyrese's album because it's a duet between the two men, right? And the song, oh my God, like, listen, if you are buzzing or if you have had a few drinks or you had a smoke or two and you listening to this song, man, it's easily to get immersed into the music. It's hypnotic, it's sultry. And then you take October London's smooth voice mixed with that raspy voice of Tyrese, man. It's like peanut butter and jelly. I'm telling you, they sound good together on that song, and it's reminiscent of this late night Marvin Gaye vibe. I mean, it is a good song, love making song. And again, this is one of them high points in the album. Like I said, it's an emotional roller coaster, right? And then like I said, in the first album, the first part of that album, he starts off in that divorce state, that painful state, and then you flip it, and now it's that rebirth. He's happy, he's willing to fall in love again, and now you in the area of the album where, man, he's in love, he's making love again. He's feeling it, feeling good about it. That's what I love about this album. It's a vibe, man. It's not only 70-esque vibe. And if you look behind me, I got some of the albums that reminds me of this album, right? He has a song that sounds like Al Green. He got a little organ in his gospel sounding. He's got these Marvin Gaye sounds, Donny Hathaway sounds. He got a remake of a Gladys Knight song, and then he got a song reminiscent of Stevie Wonder. And and speaking of Stevie, there's a song on here called "Unbelievable" with Kenny G. And man, it's so beautiful. It's a beautiful sounding song audibly. And Tyrese is clearly channeling Stevie Wonder in this song. He said when he was making this album, his goal was to create an album like Songs in the Key of Life, right? And also create an album like Hear My Dear from Marvin Gaye. So think of those two albums, and that's what you get. You get this baby Tyrese's Beautiful Pain sonically. Now, that's what I'm talking about, sonically, right? The Neither One of Us remake with from Gladys Knight with Tamar Braxton. Man, they do it justice. They didn't butcher it up or nothing like that. Very beautifully sung by those two. And if you know Tamar, she can blow, right? This album, I gotta say, it ain't for you youngins. It ain't for you YNs out there, right? This album is for mature grown-ups. That's what this album is for. It's for people that's been through some shit in life. You understand? That's been through some things in relationships. I don't mean this little back and forth arguing. No, we're talking about pain. We talking about divorce. We talking about spiritual awakenings. We're talking about mental health and mental growth, right? Emotional growth. This album is deep. It gets that deep. So if you're used to that bubblegum, auto-tune, bullshit, hey, this album ain't for you. Okay, that's the disclaimer. This is for grown folk, right? This album has such a vibe that you got to be careful listening to it, right? It could be triggering. The pain of the divorce. If you hadn't reconciled that within your head, trust me, this album can be very triggering. That's how emotional this album is. This album takes you on an emotional roller coaster. From deep pain to the thankfulness and the ability to climb from despair and embrace love again. Then he take you to church. He got a song on here, "The Man Is Me." My goodness. And it sounds like Al Green is singing in the pulpit, and he's telling you who he is. Again, let's talk about the loss of his mother, 2 sisters. He said he lost several friends, and then he lost his wife. Like, this man is going through it, and it's all encapsulated on this album. Now, the road, like I said, it starts off in pain, and it's coming up. He's happy, finding love again. Then it starts to go down again. It's almost like our real mental health. Like, you feeling good, but boom, you still get triggered. There's still a little remnants of that pain there. You're still working on reconciling it. And I feel like the flow of this album is like that. Like, it starts off in pain and it's coming out the pain. But I think as it ends, he's reconciling the pain, so to speak, And he says this album and his new relationship helped him discover the beauty in his pain. Hence the album's name, Beautiful Pain. I hope I did this album some justice. I hope I've encouraged you to want to go listen to it. And if I did, please do let me know in the comments what you think about the album. Also, I just released a video called Sessions where I'm taking some of my playlists and I'm putting them out there for you to check them out. So if you're into the vibey stuff, if you're into some R&B, some funk, some psychedelic music, perfect for any type of session that you want to get into, wink, wink, right? Perfect for that. It's right here. It's called Sessions. Do me a favor. Take a listen to it. Tell me what you think. Peace.